Hi guys, so today I'm gonna tell you guys the steps you need in order to move to LA. So I get asked this all the time. When I was 22, I had that goal to move to LA, and hey, I did it by myself. So if I can do it by myself, then you can too. So the very first step you're gonna need to do is you're gonna write down your goals, okay? You need to write it down on a piece of paper. That way this goal isn't a thought. It's not a thought anymore, and it's something realistic now. So you're gonna write down your goals, whatever it is that you want to do. Move to LA, you want to move to Long Beach, you want to move West Hollywood, whatever it is, write it down. Now you have a realistic goal that you're gonna want to do. After you write it down, you're gonna create a budget. Number 2 is gonna be creating a budget, okay? So this part is the most difficult part, I feel like. So it's very hard to save, especially nowadays. It's really hard to save for everybody. But if you really want to do it, then you will do it. So basically, you currently have a job right now. Create a timeline for whatever time you want to move to LA. Let's say it's in a year. So whatever amount you need to save for your budget, create a budget and create a savings amount for your goal. So for example, when I moved, I created a savings goal of $8,000. I divided that with the amount of time that I'm working at my job, every single time I'm getting paid. Every single time you set an amount for your paycheck aside that you're gonna be putting towards that savings for your expenses. So every single time you're getting paid, you're putting that money aside, you're getting towards that goal, and you're gonna reach it eventually. Just make sure you create that timeline and that budget for your timeline specifically. After the budget is gonna be step number 3, and that's gonna be getting a job in LA. So this part is actually a lot easier than a lot of people think. A lot of people think you have to get interviewed there. Luckily, we don't live in the olden times anymore, and you can actually get interviewed over the phone or like by a Zoom call, some way, like through camera, like over the phone, which is really nice. When I got hired, I just got some regular job, but I did get hired through a Zoom interview. So it was really nice. And I did that about 5-6 years ago. So you just get a job first, get all settled. By the way, another little tip, when you do talk to an employer and they ask about relocating, if you're out of the state, just make sure you mention that you are going to live there eventually. Like it is set for you to move for like a certain date, right? So you can start at that job. Just make it clear whether you are moving like with family, whatever it is, you have to tell them, and then that way they believe that you are gonna move there. Because if you just say like you're just gonna move, if you can get a job, then they can deny you for that reason. Number 4 is gonna be look for housing, okay? Once you get a job lined up, then you have to look for housing. For apartments, LA is really, really expensive. So just keep that in mind. If you're looking for an apartment by yourself, it might be a little tough in the beginning. For me, I personally did a roommate thing. I ended up looking for a roommate situation, and I ended up getting really lucky, and I found that myself. So a couple apps that I used to look for roommates was Spare Room US, and Roomster. I am not sponsored by any of these by any means, but Roomster was my favorite. That one was the one that I found my place, and it was really nice because the pictures looked very clear and everything, and I took a risk by not seeing the place in person, and I just moved there, and I ended up just seeing the place once I actually moved in. But I got really lucky because the place looked exactly like the pictures, and it just satisfied my needs. So Roomster was the one that I used, but you're more than welcome to look for other places, or even like Marketplace or something. Whatever helps you look for roommates, but I would recommend that just to start off even, and then eventually maybe get an apartment or house, whatever you decide later on. And then number 5 is gonna be selling your stuff. So you can either sell it or get rid of it, you know. I moved my car, so I personally just took things in my car. I didn't have a U-Haul or anything. So I definitely recommend getting rid of a lot of stuff that you don't need, because you are essentially starting over. You know, you're moving out of the state, you're starting fresh. It's really nice to get rid of like the old stuff and just start new. In my opinion, that was my best decision that I made, was getting rid of most of my stuff and just taking like my necessities with like my clothes. And that was pretty much it. But if you have like furniture and stuff, I would recommend just selling it even. You could also make more money towards that budget for like the expenses that you're gonna need for moving. So that's another good thing for selling your stuff or getting rid of them. And then last step, number 6, is the most important. So make sure when you do move there, you actually do the thing and you stick to what you wanted to do in the first place, which is move to LA and be happy. Make sure you enjoy the city. It's very, very nice there. There are a lot of great spots, and it's just an awesome experience to be able to move by yourself, especially. If I was able to do it, like I said, you can do it too. So just make sure you stick by it, you know. I actually very much struggled the first couple months. I was running out of my savings account money, but I ended up actually finding another job later on, like 2 months in, and I was fine after that. So you know, just keep in mind that LA has a lot of job opportunities, a lot more than a lot of states actually. So the job opportunities are endless when you get there. So just keep that in mind. It's just a matter of getting in while you can, and just with the little that we have, you know, you can get into LA, but then when you're there, then you can keep looking around for whatever else you want to do after that. But just stick to the plan, and as long as you do that, then you will succeed and you will be able to do it yourself. So good luck, and I wish you the best, and thank you guys for watching. Bye.